Howdy, howdy, howdy. Come on in. Pull up a chair. The Gaming Gang Dispatch is in the air. Howdy, 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 gang. Welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host, here at the Gaming Gang Dispatch, brought to you by the aforementioned Gaming Gang, the Gaming Gang, which I happen to be the Grand Poobah. I am the founder and editor-in-chief of thegaminggang.com. So welcome aboard. If this is your first time visiting, make yourself comfortable. Kick your feet up. Nothing crazy going on. Nothing too serious going on. We're not performing rocket surgery here. We're just hanging out, talking about the latest in tabletop gaming news. So we chat about board games, role-playing games, card games, miniatures games. If it's going on your tabletop, we're probably talking about it. Every once in a while, we'll talk a little PC gaming as well as pop culture. But for the most part, we're just kicking back, having some fun. Of course, if you are someone who watches all the time, if you're a constant viewer, thank you once again for joining me and taking some time out of your busy day to kick back and relax with the latest in tabletop gaming news. Tonight is Wednesday, February 10th, 2021. This is live stream 619. Do you want to mention, if you like this video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you do subscribe, ding that bell. It'll not only let you know when the Dispatch streams live, Monday through Thursday nights, right here on YouTube. It'll also let you know when I upload other videos, such as my interview with Dennis Detwiller, where we talk about the new Delta Green campaign, Impossible Landscapes. That interview will be up tomorrow afternoon. So I've still got a few little, edits I have to make. So it won't be ready tonight, but it will be up tomorrow afternoon, maybe even late morning as well. Of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more. Don't forget, get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Because this is a live stream, that also means there is chat available. It's not on screen. It's one of the ways I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay. But if you want to say howdy, or maybe get a question, a comment, by all means, please chime in. I will do my best to respond. So first out the gate tonight is Clint Gibson saying hello to everybody. A great day is it with us in chat. The Madman, one of our chat moderators, has arrived in chat as well. Good to see you all. So very, very cool. So gotta say, I had a nice 20-minute interview with Dennis Detwiller earlier today. So that was pretty fun. So look forward to that. If you've got any interest in Delta Green, and especially if you've got any interest in the brand new campaign, Impossible Landscapes, which I was really surprised. I mentioned this in the interview. I didn't realize that Delta Green has never had a big campaign adventure. I was like, really? I think they've had some adventures that sort of could have been tied together a little bit if you wanted, but there has never been any big, overarching campaign, and this is the first time. It's, I believe, over 330 pages. So pretty wild, pretty cool. So I am no doubt going to have an opportunity to take a peek at that when it arrives in print. So I will be sharing that as well. So anyway, I also found out my friend John Welsh, if you have followed the Gaming Gang for quite some time, we were one of the, I was going to say first, but we were also one of the only outlets that actually gave Victory Point Games the time of day back when they were doing their Ziploc bag games, right? Almost they're kind of like their desktop publishing games. And John had a few with Victory Point Games, including, oh gosh, Levy and Mass was one. That was the one I was like, wait, what was that called? What it was? So we had Levy and Mass. We have Keep Up the Fire, which is the Boxer Rebellion. Cruel Necessity, which was actually a box game from Victory Point Games. Well, I guess Worthington Publishing is going to launch a Kickstarter for a new edition of John's Keep Up the Fire. I guess it's going to launch on Saturday. So I was like, pretty cool. And I also saw that I guess the Player's Aid is reaching out. I guess they're doing an interview with John. I'm kind of surprised John didn't touch base with me about doing an interview with him. Very strange. I thought that was kind of weird. But I guess the Player's Aid is going to be doing an interview with John about the game itself. So thought that was kind of cool. So I actually I saw in a tweet that Worthington is going to launch this Kickstarter. So I actually replied to it saying, hey, you know what? By all means, feel free to use the Gaming Gang review for it, because that was back at the point of time where I think it was only Fortress Ameritrash and the Gaming Gang were actually providing any kind of review coverage for Victory Point Games outside of people posting their own reviews on Board Game Geek. So I don't know if they'll use it or not. I have no clue. Anyway, I don't know if I'll even talk to John again. I haven't talked to him in a while. So, don't know. I have no idea. Just thought I would share that. So, a Grade A is talking about Gale Force 9 and Dungeons & Dragons, Wizards of the Coast, Hasbro, have made up and dismissed their lawsuits. Good deal. Nice. Cool. I didn't run across that, to be honest. So, but I don't know. I thought the main gist was Wizards of the Coast wasn't too keen on Gale Force 9 subcontracting a lot of their work out. I can't say I blame them. All right, let's jump on into the news because I've got a nice eclectic mix. Arriving in April from Gamelyn Games is Tiny Epic Pirates. Arr. Here are the details. Tiny Epic Pirates is a 45-minute 1-to-4 player game of high seas adventure, utilizing a variable rondel action system and action. Guess I better kind of look over what's blocking the teleprompter there. Anyway, it utilizes a variable rondel action system and action comboing. In Tiny Epic Pirates, you take control of, you guessed it, a pirate ship, with the goal of burying vast amounts of wealth on secret island hideaways. Each turn, you move your captain token around your ship's action wheel, the rondel, selecting which action to perform. Plunder, trade, crew up, attack, or search. Each player has a randomized and unique arrangement of these actions on their rondel. Sailing your pirate ship is something every player can do every time they take an action. Plundering allows you to acquire booty from settlements at a very reasonable rate. It's amazing how negotiating changes when your blunderbuss is at the ready. Create gunpowder for promise of no harm. That's a fair exchange. Trading allows you to sell your ill-gotten goods to the black market for gold. Each market is only interested in a specific good, so make sure you're sailing in the right direction. Timing is everything. Sell your good at the wrong time, and it's worth a pittance. Crew Up adds a new crew member to your growing pirate ship. Crew increases your ship's combat advantage and unlocks new abilities for each spoke of your ship's action wheel, making that action more powerful every time you take it. Attacking merchant ships and other pirates will grow your reputation. It also happens to be a great way to score some gold and more booty to sell. Be enough of a menace and you may just become a legend of the sea. Search the high seas for treasures left behind by the unfortunate souls that preceded you. Salvage old ship parts for temporary aid, or get lucky and find something worth selling. The end of the game is triggered once a player has buried 3 treasures. To do this, a player must first acquire the amount of gold required to bury at the various bury spots on the map. After all players have had an equal number of turns, the player who has buried 3 treasures wins the game. Ties are decided by the player who has the highest legendary status in their own mind, followed by which player has the most gold. So there's a Kickstarter video. I wanted to share the video with you because there are actually very few images for me to share of the game. Keep in mind, this was a super successful Kickstarter. This is on the horizon. Let's take a peek at the video regardless.
Rain hits your face as your ship rocks back from the power of cannonballs connected with your bow. You catch the eye of a crew member as she falls from the rigging to the deck. Fire! You yell above the roar of the chaos. All you'll need is a favorable wind to be free of the persistent navy. Prepare yourself to embark on an epic adventure. Sailing the seas for goods, gold, and glory.
Tiny Epic Pirates is a 45-minute 1-to-4 player game of high seas adventure, utilizing a variable rondel action system and action comboing. In Tiny Epic Pirates, you take control of a pirate ship with the goal of burying vast amounts of wealth on secret island hideaways. Each turn, you move your captain around your ship's action wheel, selecting an action to perform. Plunder, trade, search, crew up, attack? How will you steer your ship? Players will plunder islands for valuable booty. They will trade this booty to black markets in exchange for gold. They'll search for hidden treasures among shipwrecks of yesteryear. But every ship needs a good crew. Your decision here is particularly important, as each crew brings a unique benefit to your ship's actions and bolsters your strength in battle. Fire! Blast your cannons at unsuspecting merchant ships carrying booty. And if you attack a prolific enough merchant ship, your legend grows. And your legend, well, it's everything. Who will be remembered? You or the other filthy pirates at sea? Attack other pirate ships to show whose strength is truly superior. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. You'll either die a pirate or find a way out. And pardons don't purchase themselves. Bury enough treasure and you may very well put this life behind you. Be the first to bury 3 treasures and you'll sail into the sunset as the truly victorious pirate. The exciting and variable gameplay of Tiny Epic Pirates will have players coming back again and again to explore new crew combinations, navigate different sea layouts, and master their unique rondels. Alternatively, players can try their hand at the solo game and battle against legendary pirates, each with unique motivations and abilities. Don't forget to explore the Curse of Amdiak expansion, where players covet the cursed gold of the ghost pirate Amdiak. The attacks from its ship will change you forever, and the draw of the cursed gold is undeniable. There is no better time than now to pledge your support and get a copy of Tiny Epic Pirates. Every dollar pledged on Kickstarter makes the game better for everyone. Don't wait. Join us and become a supporter today.
Once again, Tiny Epic Pirates is for 1 to 4 players, ages 14 and up. Plays in about 30 to 60 minutes. And the deluxe edition will carry an MSRP of $30 when it arrives on April 27th. Yes, yet another Tiny Epic game. I know the Madman was hoping that it was going to be a new Tiny Epic Kickstarter or something that I was going to have news about. No, I haven't heard anything. I have not heard anything. The Madman also points out that he backed Tiny Epic Pirates and can't wait to get it. The Tiny Epic games, the Tiny Epic lineup of games, for the most part, are really, really well done. I know there are a few people out there who've said that they kind of think the Tiny Epic series is kind of wearing out or something like that, or getting redundant. I don't know. They all tend to be pretty different. Now, not everyone is going to be everybody's cup of tea, but it's not as if we're talking about, oh, yes, it's another Carcassonne release. They are pretty different. All right, moving on to my next news piece. Coming this May from KOSMOS Games is Anno 1800. Here's what I know, and it's not a ton. The sun is rising on the age of industry. Will you rise too? Ship fleets allow for lively trade and the development of new islands in the old and new world. You have to fulfill the wishes of your own population. While the inhabitants are initially satisfied with bread and clothing, they soon demand valuable luxury goods. You must plan production chains sensibly and keep an eye on the specialization of your population. The goal? A wise distribution of farmers, workers, craftsmen, engineers, and investors. But the competition never sleeps and can snatch the new achievements from under your nose at any time. Who can create the most prosperous island? Anno 1800 is an epic city building strategy board game based on Ubisoft's popular PC game of the same name. Players strive to build up their industrial might as they develop an island society at the dawn of the industrial age. Investing in their nautical fleets enables trade and expansion to new territories in the old and new worlds. But players must focus above all on maintaining the health and happiness of the citizens of their home islands. While the population is initially satisfied with food and clothing, in time, it's going to demand more valuable luxury goods. Players must plan their development strategies and supply chains carefully, keeping an eye on the distribution of specialized roles within their territories. The objective of the game is a plan for an even distribution of all the various different workers. But beware, because that competition never sleeps. Players may steal new achievements out from each other's noses at any time. Whose island will prosper and whose will fail? Anno 1800 is for 2 to 4 players, ages 12 and up. It's going to play in about 2 hours. It's going to carry an MSRP of $69.95 when it arrives in May. Very cool. I had heard from the fine folks over at Thames and Cosmos talking about their lineup for 2021. And it's a big one. They actually have scheduled for this year, they've got 15 releases. Now, I will point out, I think 7 of them are either adventure or exit games, which are very similar. They aren't big box games, but they do have quite a few heavier games. Now, Anno 1800, I do believe, is actually designed by Martin Wallace. So, should have some interesting mechanics. It should probably have that one thing about it that it seems like all Martin Wallace designs have, where you're going, there's always that one kind of head scratcher in Martin Wallace games. But there's this. There's the Legend of Robin Hood. I think it's the Legend of Robin Hood. There's a oh gosh, now I'm trying to remember the is it Andrew? I'm trying to remember the fantasy world that they've got. All right, hang on. I think it's behind me. No. Anywhere? Yeah. So they're gonna have like a younger kids edition of the Andor. That's it. I think it's called Andor Junior. They've got that. I will be sharing more news pieces as well. There's it looks like a social deduction game called Fangs is on the horizon. Like I said, I will be sharing the news as they arrive, but I think this is probably the game that's on the horizon from Cosmos that heavier gamers are probably very curious about. So the Madman points out, going back to Tiny Epic Games, that he's really enjoyed all of them. That because they're smaller, it's easy to take with you. I know, I keep some of them in my car, usually. So I know where you're coming from. Doug Roberts has joined us in chat. Good to see you, Doug. Thanks for coming on by and joining us tonight. So it is War Game Wednesday, right? Well, it's Wednesday. I like to try to get War Game news out there whenever I can. But on Wednesdays, I really do my best to make sure I've got a War Game news piece. And I do, because currently up for crowdfunding for Canvas Temple Publishing is the Pratzen Austerlitz 1805. Here's the skinny. The Pratzen Austerlitz 1805 is a two-player board game that portrays the fighting on and around the Pratzen Heights at the Battle of Austerlitz. The battle was fought between the French forces of Napoleon Bonaparte and a larger allied army composed of Austrian and Russian forces. The battle is considered to be one of the most important and decisive engagements of the Napoleonic Wars. The engagement result brought the War of the Third Coalition to an end and the Treaty of Pressburg about. The battle is widely thought of as a tactical masterpiece on par with Cannae. The game is designed by industry veteran and author of The Art of Wargaming. Jeez, I can't read tonight. What's going on with me? We're working on videos all day. I think that's what's going on. Game is designed by industry veteran and author of The Art of Wargaming, ING, Peter P. Perla. The game system of the Pratzen Austerlitz 1805 began some 3 decades ago as an idea to update the classic SBI tactical game Grenadier, published in 1971. Pratzen evolved into a merger of the Grenadier scale with some different combat mechanics based on the original Reiswitz Kriegspiel rules of 1824, adopted as a training tool in the Prussian army after the Napoleonic Wars. The scale was shifted from half battalions to companies and divisions as the basic infantry maneuver piece, and much additional streamlining and simplification ensued. The Pratzen game system then developed from a basic Grenadier variant through a card-based system to the current system incarnation. This final package strives to recreate a more realistic view of combat on the Napoleonic battlefield. The scale of the game is designed to give you a point of view of the brigade or divisional commander, but your subordinate battalion and squadron commanders may not always do what you want them to. Players have broad control over where to move and position forces, but it leaves the details in the hands of the officers and men on scene. Your job as their commander is to maneuver and commit them to the fight in ways that take advantage of their strengths and compensate for their shortcomings. Do want to mention there is no Kickstarter video for this. A little surprised. Would like to have seen one of those. The Pratzen Austerlitz 1805 is over 250% funded. You can reserve a copy of the game as well as stretch goals for a $69 pledge through February 22nd, and an expected delivery is this October. I do not play enough Napoleonic war games. And the funny thing is, I painted a lot of Napoleonics, 15 millimeter Napoleonics back in the day, and I just actually did not play with them. I ended up selling them, strangely enough. And I know I've talked about it a couple of times before. There was a miniatures set, which actually came from Emperor's Press, which was an offshoot of the Emperor's Headquarters, which was a wargaming store that was in Chicago for a few years when I was in my 20s. And a lot of people were like, oh, they loved Empire. And I think it was like Empire 4. I picked it up and Elliot and I ended up going to somebody's house. They were having a big game and we were playing, and it was the most boring game I think we had ever played. It was up there in the boredom realm. So I'd be curious how this game plays out. Very, very curious. But it is up on Kickstarter right now. It is fully funded, and you still have, I think it's 11 days to go. So let's move on to some role-playing game news, because there's a new bundle of holding that's arrived, and it features Atomic Robo. Here's the dope. Remain calm and trust in science. This new Atomic Robo bundle brings you 9 complete PDF graphic albums of the Eisner Award-nominated Atomic Robo comic series from Tesladyne LLC, plus the 2014 Atomic Robo role-playing game from Evil Hat Productions. In 1923, Nikola Tesla unveils a robot with automatic intelligence, Atomic Robo. Granted full citizenship in 1938 after a secret military operation, Robo finds Tesladyne, a two-fisted think tank that explores the fringes of scientific inquiry. After decades of high-octane, full-contact hypothesis testing at the edge of human knowledge, Robo and the action scientists of Tesladyne are the go-to defense force against the unexplained. Created in 2007 by Brian Clevenger and Scott Wegener, Atomic Robo has been online since 2015 at atomic-robo.com. There, the creators post Robo's century-spanning adventures supported by a Tesladyne Patreon campaign and 8 successful Kickstarters. There's giant monsters, rogue agencies, underground cities, trans-dimensional vampires, one particularly annoying dinosaur, and lots of explosions. Lots of explosions. Atomic Robo reads like the Ghostbusters, Indiana Jones, Buckaroo Banzai, and Rocketeer movies crammed into a robot who wears pants. Jump in anywhere. Each graphic album is a self-contained story, so you can read them in any order. I gotta admit, I don't know why they're calling them graphic albums. They're graphic novels. Graphic novels, folks, not graphic albums. I know, Bundle of Holding doesn't really do comics. So, for just $12.95, you get all 7 titles in the starter collection, carrying a retail value of $70 as DRM-free PDFs, including Evil Hat's complete 322-page Atomic Robo RPG rulebook based on Fate Core. 3 Tesladyne graphic novels. I'm saying novels. I'm overwriting them. I'm saying novels. Atomic Robo and Other Strangeness, The Ghost of Station X, and The Shadow from Beyond Time. And action science resources like the Tesladyne Field Manual and the FM Ultra Field Manual. And behold the pulpy fruit of a vastly superior reptilian intelligence in Dr. Dinosaur's Time Travel Guide. If you pay more than the threshold price of $26.46, you'll level up and also get the entire bonus collection with 7 more titles worth an additional $68, including the Atomic Robo RPG Supplement Majestic 12, 4 more Atomic Robo graphic novels, The Ring of Fire, Savage Sword of Dr. Dinosaur, The Spectre of Tomorrow, and the Temple of Ad, and 2 collections of the Robo Companion comic Real Science Adventures, Flying She-Devils of the Pacific, and The Nicodemus Job. Science needs blood. Your blood. Join the prestigious and highly fatal ranks of the action scientists today. This bundle does run through March 1st, and 10% of your payment after gateway fees will be donated to this offer's pandemic-related charity, Direct Relief. I'm a huge fan of Atomic Robo. I have read all of the graphic novels, not graphic albums, graphic novels, and they are a lot of fun. They are loads of fun. And I reviewed the role-playing game. I received a PDF from Evil Hat way back in the day, and I did a review of it, and I thought it was great. I thought it was fantastic. If you like Atomic Robo, you don't even have to like role-playing games to pick it up, because it's an awesome, just a source book for Atomic Robo. It's a lot of fun, and it is. There's no cheesecake. It's one of the aspects about the comic book. There's no like fan service-ish kind of oddness. A lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. It's a fun comic, and they're still producing it as a webcomic too. I'm not sure how often they update the pages of the webcomic. So here's a funny story, Atomic Robo related. I actually interviewed Scott Wegener at one of the C2E2s. I think it might even been the last C2E2. And my brother was the cameraman, and I couldn't even use the video because it was like we were out of focus. Everything behind us was in fantastic focus. I was like, you stupid. Yeah, that's what happens when you have your brother do camera work for you at conventions. More times than not, he half-asses it. Because that's just how it is. All right, Flaming Huron has rolled on in to chat. I believe Flaming Huron was probably talking about Anno 1800 as one of his favorite PC strategy games. So very good there. So that's kind of funny. Rob German's like, did I miss a new Tiny Epic game? No, you didn't. No, you did not. Did not. All right. So Flaming Huron says that they watch the stream sometimes when they're doing work. They can usually pay attention. Yeah, I can see that. Doug Roberts says the artwork kind of has a 1950s style to it. A lot of the adventures do take place, I'd say 20s to 60s. So, pretty good artwork. I like the artwork. It's just, like I said, it's just a fun series. And hey, it's a new bundle of holding. So you can get almost everything for the price of, well, less than the price of the 2 RPG supplements in PDF. So you can get both supplements and all of those graphic novels. As I believe those are PDFs as well. I don't think they're CBR files. So pretty cool. So I want to share that with you. One last news piece. There's an interesting looking OSR adventure supplement. It's from Lost Pages. It's available in print and PDF. Here's a story on Genial Jack Volume 2. I wish I had more images to share here, but I don't. I only have this. Genial Jack is a serialized setting of nautical weirdness and whimsy. Cursed sailors, mutant shark people, lost treasures, mysterious shipwrecks, mythic monstrosities, and, of course, the god whale Jack himself, a whale the size of a mountain. This 69-page volume, although later on they say it's 79 pages, details the endless darkness of Jack's entrails, the bizarrely procreating intestines of the god whale, a living labyrinth filled with half-digested derelicts, fragments of swallowed islands, ambiguous miners, strange parasites, and tatterdemalion outlaws on the run from Jackburg law. Within, you'll find a sprawling dungeon environment with 45 keyed locations, suitable for a full mini-campaign within the entrails with multiple adventure hooks. A gazetteer of Hernheim, the rickety pirate town twixt the small and large intestines. 3 detailed maps of the entrails, 16 new monsters and NPCs, such horrors as the pestiferous thrush-brawn with their swollen tongues, the toxically affectionate amoeboids, the true vampire squid, the dog nymph Sculla, the swallowed sea devil. There's 8 new equipment items and 14 magic items, such as the corpse locating thanatometer. Okay. The obscenity barking root shield. That sounds kind of funny. And the bristling blade of the fallen hero Horcus the Hirstute. Rules for the gut gardeners, an order of druid scientists able to communicate with the animalcules in the microbiomes of living creatures. Inspired by the likes of Gulliver's Travels, the Tales of Baron Munchausen, and new weird urban fantasy, Genial Jack is written for 5th edition, but easily adaptable to any fantasy tabletop game. Now, according to Drive-Thru RPG, this is a 79-page softcover. I know the sell sheet info says 69, but I don't know. Drive-Thru saying it's 79. You can get the softcover and PDF of Genial Jack at Drive-Thru RPG for $14.99. If you'd like, you can snag just the PDF alone for $4.99. Nice. Very, very, very cool. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Thought I would share that. So a Grade A is talking about a Star Wars box set of graphic novels. Something on the mic there. Flaming Heron says that a Grade A needs to get his own show. Yeah, okay. There you go. All right. So I happen to be pals with 2 of the artists who did Clone Wars for Dark Horse. So there's that. The Philbach brothers, I've mentioned them before. Anyway, speaking of mentioning things, I was just talking about Drive-Thru RPG. And of course, the Gaming Gang and thus the Dispatch are affiliated with the One Bookshelf sites. So if you are going to swing over to, say, Drive-Thru RPG, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com first. Click on one of our banner ads. That way, if you happen to make a purchase, I'll get a little portion of that sale. And all those nickels, dimes, and quarters really do add up. All right, so that is it for the news today. So Madman's talking about something was a long campaign. Not sure. Oh, so yes, Goodman's going to be working on the Temple of Elemental Evil, and it's going to be 2 volumes. They haven't released a sell sheet yet on it. I know there has been talk about it, and they have shared some news about it on their website as well. Last I looked, I think that was last week, I didn't see anything as far as sell sheet. So a lot of times sharing the news, I don't share stuff that I don't have much information about. So yesterday I mentioned, yes, we found out that Free League Publishing is going to launch their Kickstarter for the 2nd edition of The One Ring tomorrow on Kickstarter. And that was it. That was basically all I knew. All I had was that information. There was an announcement, and it was just kind of like, hey, patting each other on the backs, and the cover of the book, which I got to be honest, I'm not overly thrilled with. I think it looks okay, but I don't know. It's not jumping out at me. And that has nothing to do with Free League Publishing, because I think all of you know I have a really good relationship with Free League. I don't know. The cover doesn't look all that exciting. But I will have a news piece about the One Ring 2nd edition tomorrow, because that's when we'll have some information. So there we go. All right. So anyway, well, I actually have no clue what's going on in chat. There's discussions about Alessandro Ferrari, IDW Comics, Humble Bundle. Yeah, Humble Bundle does books all the time. In fact, every month they've got at least 2 book offers. They're not always RPG books. Sometimes they're just various different books. But yeah, Bundle of Holding, this is the first time I ever saw anything that was comic related. They did the Glenn Cook book bundle, which I think may have just ended, or it's still in its last few days. And that was really the first time I had ever seen them do literature. So I thought that was kind of strange as well. All right, so let's talk about the contests that are going on right now. I'll make this as quick as I possibly can. So 5 contests going on through the month of February. First off, if you'd like to win this copy of Nidavellir, still in shrink, nice and fresh, won't actually be in stores until April. If you'd like to win this game from Gamelyn Games and Hachette Games, all you got to do is check out my review. I tell you in the review video how you can win this. And it's pretty easy. So moving right along, I've got some contests that take place here on YouTube. I've got some that are taking place on Twitter. But I have... See, the funny thing is, it's like I've got all these different contests, and it's kind of like, so wait a second, which one is what? Which one does... So if I get 7,000 followers on Twitter, and I think at this point I'm like 250, 260, something like that away, which that's not difficult to get, I will give away 3 PDF copies, plus one lucky winner will get the physical book of Warhammer 40K Wrath and Glory from Cubicle 7 Entertainment. I did not realize this is actually not out in the US yet. So you will be getting those as well. So I thought those are pretty cool. Then here on YouTube, if I can hit 4,500 subscribers, which I don't know, that leaves us like 560 some short. I am doing a basic fantasy role-playing game giveaway. Not this hardcover per se. No, all softcover, but I will actually be giving away all 13 books that are currently in print through Amazon for basic fantasy. Pretty simple as far as getting in the running with this. All you got to do is be a subscriber, comment on one of the videos. Could be any video. Doesn't really matter. Just make a comment on a video. Can't be rude. But just say howdy. And if we hit the 4,500 subscribers, then by all means, one lucky winner will walk away with that. So I also have 2 contests for the upcoming Dungeons & Dragons Candlekeep Mysteries. And one's on Twitter, one's here. So on Twitter, if I can hit 7,500 followers, then I will give away to a lucky Twitter winner the standard artwork edition of Candlekeep Mysteries. And if we hit 4,500 subscribers, I'm sorry, 5,000 subscribers here on YouTube, I will give away the alternate art. And once again, same exact thing for YouTube. All you got to do, be a subscriber, comment on a video. For Twitter, they're a little different. There are specific tweets that are in my feed. I will share them again, I think, tomorrow. And you basically have to be a follower. You have to like the tweet and then quote the tweet in a retweet tagging a friend. So there you go. So Gary Clarkson has joined us in chat. Good to see you, Gary. I think this is possibly the first time Gary has joined us in chat. So Flaming Heron says, it was weird. His stream jumped back a few minutes. So, Grady's like fresh shrink. It does not look like we had any breaks in the action here. Usually I know if the stream is dropped for a second because I'll see chat disconnect, and then I glance down at the corner of my 44-inch TV, my 4K TV I use as my monitor down here, and I'll see that the internet is gone. So Doug Roberts says, hey, it's my first time. Yeah. That joke's too old. We don't do it anymore. It ain't funny. It ain't funny, Dooley. All right. So I don't know. I don't know. Kind of a weird day today. It's been very, very odd. Super cold out. Really, really cold out. Gary Clarkson mentions that he's thinking of running Basic Fantasy for his kids as an introduction to role-playing games. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that's a fine choice, especially seeing you can get the PDFs absolutely free. So I thought that was very cool. If I remember correctly, I think, and I might be wrong, but I think Gary actually made that same comment on one of the videos too. So Flaming Heron says maybe it was on their end as far as jumping the stream back in time. Great Ace says hit the slow option. Yeah, that's kind of weird too, because you can slow down live feeds. There's actually a setting too that I can actually go and put the video in a slow mode. It's like, okay, I have no idea what that's supposed to be. But I also have like 3 different settings as far as what kind of, I guess, what kind of like delay I want on the video as well. As far as the stream goes, I can have like almost no latency, but the video quality doesn't tend to be as good. I have it in the middle. I have middle. I have like near real time or something like that. So Gary says, yes, they did make that comment. Very cool. So Rob says, cold and snow has been on repeat the last week. Yes, in the Chicago area, it has been pretty crappy. We got a little dusting of snow today. Yesterday, we got about an inch, and it was just kind of falling throughout the afternoon. Strangely enough, today I ran up to the pharmacy, and walking out of the pharmacy, I was like, wow, it's cold out. Man, it's cold out here. Got in my car, and my car wouldn't start. And I had only been in the pharmacy a few minutes. And, of course, the car stays in the garage here. And I was like, oh, no. And, of course, I didn't have my phone with because the pharmacy's not that far away. Like shit. Like, I'm going to have to walk back to the house. Shit. Finally turned over and started. I was like, oh, thank you. I was like, thank you. All righty then. Oh, hey, one last thing. I do want to mention that you still have 2 cool freebies over on Epic Games right now. Over at epicgames.com, you can still get For the King, as well as Metro Last Light Redux. Those are both available till 10 a.m. tomorrow morning when we get our next freebie, which I, of course, will talk about on tomorrow's show. But I did want to point out, don't miss out. Those are some 2 pretty good games. But the thing is, if you follow Epic, you could basically have like both the first 2. Well, I guess it's more than 2. Because all in all, isn't there like really 4 or 5 Metro games? Because I know they just came out with like the finale. It was supposed to be like the finale to that storyline. But I thought the 2 Redux volumes actually combine a couple of games, or maybe they're combining games and DLC. But if you follow Epic, you could basically have had everything up to this final Metro game absolutely free over the past, I think it's like the past couple of months. Because I think one of them was the giveaway during the holiday season. And then, of course, right now we have Last Light, which is like the second. So, Flaming Heron says there are 3 Metro games. So the Madman says 2013-14 was extremely cold where he is in Michigan, and both their cars wouldn't start. Yeah, it's kind of like, yeah. Doug Roberts says that's how we rate cold now, by how many cars won't start. Yeah, and the funny thing is, when I first came back from Arizona, I just still had my battery from Arizona. So I was like, okay, so if it gets below like 25, I'm keeping my fingers crossed that this puppy starts. Because, of course, a battery in Arizona, you're not going to have the cranking amps. It's just, Plus, you don't buy expensive batteries out in Arizona anyway because they dry out so fast. So you're lucky if a battery lasts you 2 years out in like the Phoenix area. All right, so that is it for this time out. Once again, I want to remind everybody, if you like this video, by all means, give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you do subscribe, ding that bell. Because not only will it let you know when the Dispatch streams live Monday through Thursday nights right here on YouTube, it'll also inform you when I upload other videos. As I mentioned, tomorrow you'll be able to see my interview with Dennis Detwiller, but there's also my review of Crystal Palace that I just put out yesterday. I'm aiming to have 3 to 4 videos outside of the show every week. That's what I'm shooting for. See how we can do it. So Flaming Heron says, so how do we rate heat? By how many people have pools? Ooh, see, that's what hurt Arizona with the humidity. Everybody got pools, everybody got lawns, everybody put in trees. So when you have 118 degrees and 30% humidity, it is awful. It really is. Bad enough when it would be like 3% humidity and 115. It's like sticking your head in an oven, but it's just like they used to say, it's a dry heat. Out in Arizona, it is not a dry heat anymore. It is just miserable when the humidity is really high. There's times it's 108 degrees and 70% humidity. It's like, yeah. All righty though. I still have friends out in Phoenix. I like Arizona. It's kind of the point you just can't live out there anymore. Anyway, so when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Everybody enjoy the rest of your Wednesday night or Thursday morning or whatever day it happens to be when you're watching this video. Those of you who were watching live, thank you very much for keeping me company and hanging out in chat. Always appreciate it. That way I don't feel like a complete goofball just blabbing away into this camera. But I do know there are folks out there who don't have an opportunity to watch live. So even if you're watching on Memorex, thank you very much for taking time out of your busy day to waste with me. Anyway, I will be back tomorrow. And as I wrap up all my videos during this never-ending pandemic, I certainly hope all of you out there are being smart and staying safe. Oh, hey, you're still here. Well, if that's the case, by all means, if you haven't subscribed to the Gaming Gang channel yet, click right here. If you'd like to see the latest episode of the Gaming Gang Dispatch, click right up there. And if you want to trust YouTube's algorithm to give you something to watch, click right there. Once again, thanks so much for watching. And everybody, please wear a mask.